Oh wait, I should probably. Let's see here. What are we doing? There we go. Cool. We're up. We're up, baby. Hell yeah, we're up. Alright. Oh. Every time that gets me. Oh boy. Oh boy. Alright. Let's see. Make sure my phone is silent, so that way you don't hear incessant dings if my D&D group resumes their rapid-fire conversation that they were having beforehand. But then I gotta make sure my work phone has the volume on, because, well, I have to answer that phone if it rings. Pray it doesn't ring, because usually when my phone rings, it means something terrible is happening. I work in the kind of job that if everything is going well, then you don't really hear much. Everything just goes how it's supposed to go. But if things are, if I'm getting a call, that means that something has gone wrong somewhere, and someone needs something fixed. So it's always a good day when the phone doesn't ring. I've already had like 3 phone calls today, so I'm hoping that that's tapped me out for the day. But there's one thing I've learned from this job, it's that phone calls will generally be saved up until one day when everyone will just sort of be randomly thinking to themselves, today's the day. Today's the day that it'll be a good day to call Scott. So, alright. Let's go ahead and start the game. Let's play, because it is Thursday, March 11, 2021. I'm EnviroBoy, and we are playing some more Borderlands today. And we're playing it, tragically, in the same quality as we've been playing it previously. I had received a new graphics card in the mail. Well, new to me. Allegedly a used one. Received it in the mail. Was excited. Got my motherboard and my PC or CPU upgrade as well. Got everything I needed. Assembled it. Assembly went fine. Everything fit in the old case. Everything plugged in just fine. Booted it up. Got the BIOS going. No big deal. Everything was good. And then I tried to install the OS. Wow, I am missing everything. And you know what else I'm noticing? My audio is going through the wrong thing. So hold on a second. Just now noticing that it's coming out of the computer speakers, and that's going to make some weird background noise. Is that something that I got to fix in here? I might have to fix it outside of the game. Yeah, I got to fix it outside of the game. Hold up. We'll get it. Let's see here. I need to. Let's see here. Is that? Okay, I think that does it. Well, let's see here. No, it's still playing. Why is the game playing through? Ha. That's weird. I don't know why my game is. Voice, audio. I might have to like restart the game or restart the stream or something. Let me see here. It's just the game. Alright, we're gonna quit the desktop and we're gonna try reloading the game. We'll see if that does something for us here. Let me make sure the audio, because when I go and do audio check here, it's coming in through the headphones. Yeah, that's coming through my headphones. So why Let's see here. Maybe that's the one we need. So I wonder if that'll do it. Okay, let's try that. So it's now... Let's see if that did anything. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, I think I hear the game audio in that opening screen coming through the headphones. I think we got it. Time will tell. But I can continue my story about trying to get my new PC going. Get into the BIOS, everything's fine. I'm able to set a few things up. Ooh, there we go. Yep, now we're in the headphones. Much better, much better. So I get into the BIOS, make the changes that I want to make. Ooh, yikes! That audio is getting pretty loud though for the game. Hold up, let me. Whoops, no, I didn't want to mute the stream. Hold up. Settings. Yeah, we want to drop that volume down a bit there. That should take care of it. Alright. That should balance it much better. I think that'll balance it much better. I just need to... although I don't want it to be too quiet. Maybe we'll put that right there. Yeah, if we put that right there, the voice is going above... Well, we want the voice to be plenty above what the maximum. We'll put it at minus 30 decibels. We'll see what that does. If anyone complains, I'll adjust it. Okay. Story time. BIOS, good. Everything's good. We get in there. Looks like everything is good to go. So then I try to install the OS. Well, that in and of itself turns into a huge hairy deal. I insert the USB. You know, I mean, it's a Windows 10 USB installer. It's intended to be you just plug it right in, and then everything just automatically does what it's supposed to do. That's the idea anyway, and that's what it's supposed to do. So I plug it in, and I get nothing. Let me make sure I'm going the right way here. It looks like largely irrelevant which way I go, but we're going to go this way. So I plug it in and nothing happens. I think, oh great, what's the hold up here? So I reset, plug it in, still nothing. Reset, plug it in, still nothing. Can't get it to boot off of the USB drive. So I toy around with it for a little while. And like I'm toying around, like I pull it out, you know, I reopen the case, make sure everything's plugged in right, make sure I didn't goof up something on there that's just throwing the thing through a loop. Not working. Okay. Finally I figure it out. I adjust the default boot system so that way it doesn't default to BIOS and instead defaults, you know, or will go to opening the Windows USB installer. Get that going. Install Windows. Seems like it's going great. Alright, so I install Windows. It's up and running. I'm in there. Notice that for some reason it's not accepting my Ethernet, but I think, okay, not a big deal. Not a big deal. We can see about downloading drivers on my laptop just so that way I can install them via a thumb drive. No big deal. That doesn't have to be a problem. Not too worried about that. What I'm more worried about at the moment is just, you know, getting some things organized the way I want them to. So I start going into, you know, device manager and stuff like that to make sure we've got our proper graphics cards and stuff set up, because I do notice while I'm loading it up that it's sending the signal through the graphics card as it's supposed to, because I only had one HDMI plugged in, and that was plugged into the HDMI outlet for, where's it? There it is. The HDMI outlet for the graphics card. It only has one HDMI as graphics card, and the model had 3 DisplayPort, 1 HDMI. So I just use the HDMI because it's the cord that I have been using for this computer that I'm still on, my old computer here. And it was just handy. I didn't really have to I wouldn't have had to rerun wires or cords to hook it up to my monitor. That was weird. There we go. So I plug it in there, and it's displaying through the HDMI via the graphics card, no problem. But I look, and it's not. You know, it doesn't. Not only is it not using it, but it's not like it's using the integrated graphics processor for the output. And I had wondered if it was doing that, because when I was looking at the screen, it was, you know, up and running and working and clear, but it was grainy, right? Like it did not have smooth transitions between colors. It looked low quality, to say the least. So I go in, and sure enough, it's using the integrated graphics, which is confusing to me because it's running through the graphics card. So I think, well, maybe we've got some driver issues. So by that time, it was like 10 at night, which for me is staying up pretty late. So I was like, okay, you know what? Well, this will be waiting for me in the morning. We can go ahead and work on it then. So that's what I like to do. Next morning, try to boot it up, and after having restarted the computer, this is where things really start going haywire. After restarting the computer, it no longer boots up Windows. Best I can get it to do is go to the BIOS and let me try and change some things there, but Windows just will not boot no matter what I do. No matter, you know, I'm looking in the BIOS trying to see what the boot drive is. It recognizes the drive that I have Windows installed on, and it recognizes it as Windows Boot Manager, but it won't actually load. It just freezes up on our splash screen. So I fight with that for a while. I pull things out. I think like, well, okay, maybe something just isn't seated right, you know, and it's maybe that's what the source of all of these issues are in general. Maybe the graphics card isn't seated right, and I know computers can be weird in terms of what the cause and effect of a lot of things are. That's why it's impossible to Google what your issue is and find an exact answer most of the time, because usually people have a similar issue but not the exact same issue. So I think, okay, well, we'll open it up and we'll try and reseat things. So I open it up, pull out a couple things, unplug and replug in a few things, and the computer won't even start up at all. Like, power won't even turn on. Great, what did I do wrong now? What did I break? Pull it out again, turns out I just had the RAM poorly seated. That's 100% on me at that point. Oh, I gotta get the feed first before I can put it on there. So, great. More headaches to deal with. So, go through all that again. Finally, I do get it reloaded in, but that has done nothing. I boot it up, and it is the same issue, is not loading up Windows. So I'm like, okay, well, just restart it, put in that thumb drive, and reinstall Windows. Do that. Windows reinstalls, no problem. And I'm actually able to, again, get it to load up. And then first things first, because I remember there, you know, the big issue the night before, or that morning. Oh shoot! I accidentally freaking hate when I do that. You know, because then the issue was, well, I reset the computer or turned it off and turned it back on, and it would no longer boot Windows. So I'm like, okay, well, let's just go ahead and head this off now and see if that's an issue. Off and on, reboot, loads up Windows. Okay, all right, we're making progress. We've at least improved that. So then I go through the process of getting the Ethernet drivers downloaded on another computer and installed. So we've got Ethernet drivers. So now I can actually have direct internet on the new computer for further driver work, which is what I'm suspecting is the issue with the graphics card. So I go online, find the website with the, you know, find the NVIDIA website to try and install the drivers, find the drivers that I need, try to download them, and immediately get error messages spat at me about how the drivers cannot be downloaded and installed. What are you talking about? You can't download and install them. Like, that's not even dependent. Like, obviously it's going to be an issue with the, you know, whether or not they can be really installed is dependent on having the graphics card in there, which is what's cluing me, and it's still not detecting the graphics card. So I'm like, great, okay, so we're not detecting the graphics card. Turn it off. Load up the... turn it off. Open it up. Just make sure that the graphics card is seated in there properly, which I suspected it was. but you know, just to make, because it was still, again, it was producing an image from through the graphics card HDMI, even though it wasn't actually utilizing the graphics card. Okay, so we go in there, and everything is seated properly. Load up the computer again, and quickly throw it into the BIOS, make sure that it's recognizing it, and I check, and it seems to be recognizing that there's a PCL graphics card installed. It detects it. So I'm like, okay, well, let's go ahead and load up Windows again. Go to load up Windows, and Windows is frozen and will not load up. back to that issue again. So it ends up being a process. You know, when it's all said and done, I probably spent a good 10 hours fighting with this thing just to get Windows to be installed and loaded stably. You know, that's it takes 10 hours for me to do that. And once I can finally consistently get that done, I cannot get the graphics card. So the whole thing is just a complete wash. And what I suspect, and I could be wrong, there's a million things that could happen, and I'm no professional. But what I suspect is one of two things. Either I encountered some sort of compatibility issue that was not sort of a conventional one between, you know, the CPU, the motherboard, and the graphics card that was causing all kinds of issues, or the graphics card that I purchased wasn't as functional as the description led me to believe. Which the description said it was a warranty replacement that was never used and just tested. And they claimed that it tested just fine. I don't know, you can say anything you want. You can say anything you want in a description. So by then I'm just sick. I'm just so sick of the whole thing. I've got a headache from it, and I'm just so turned off by the process and so disappointed because building this computer was such a fun thing, and I was hoping that it could just be like a fun project to do, but it just, nothing was working right. Really turned me off of it, and it just kind of got me thinking, like, you know what, for the money I spent on this, I really don't want to have to be fighting with this, and if we're starting in this situation here, I'm going to check and make sure. Yeah, we've still got some other things that we can do in the trash coast, which I'm pretty sure is where I'm at. Bait and switch. Let's do that. Yep. So I contact the seller, and fortunately enough, they are reputable enough, which leads me to believe that I think there was an incompatibility issue. Just the parts that I got just weren't working out. Maybe it's, you know, an issue with a model or something like that. Maybe it's a well-known issue that I overlooked and didn't find. You know, I mean, hell, maybe I just didn't have the power that I thought I did in my power brick to run everything. Who knows? You know, all signs pointed to the machine was going to be just fine, but you know, clearly it wasn't it. But to the companies, to the seller's credit, they were like, oh, sorry that happened. You know, we tested, made sure everything's good, but if you want a refund, you know, mail us back, and once we get it, we'll give you the refund. So, goes in the mail. It's going to go back, and I'm going to go back to the drawing board. You know, I was fortunate. For me, I was fortunate in that this sort of quote-unquote lesson of the risks of purchasing used stuff not directly from whoopsie, that was bigger than I remember it being. Woo! Not directly from a manufacturer itself. You know, I was fortunate in that I did not lose, you know, the hundreds of dollars I spent on the part. And I was fortunate that I did at least have the wherewithal to research the seller, look into their reviews and their reputation, and see that the seller did have a reputation, even just as a seller of used parts on eBay. You know, as far as I can tell, it's a company, like probably a small mom-and-pop computer shop that deals in used items and has been utilizing eBay probably heavily since COVID started. So, you know, lucky me, not a big issue. I can get my money back, and what I've decided to do is, and I know that this is a very controversial take. It's a very controversial take among the computer gaming scene, but I don't care. What I'm deciding to do is expanding my budget a bit because we did have a stimulus bill that was passed, which means we will all be receiving some economic stimulus, which for me, I'm very fortunate in my life in that I don't need that to survive. I'm surviving quite well, quite comfortably. I am reliably, stably employed even through all of this, and my salary, I'm not really salaried, I'm hour, well, it's weird. I'm like a hybrid between salary and hourly, and it's just because the salary helps make sure that negotiations are smooth between different employees, because I work for a government agency. So everything's like calculated salaried, but it's like, based on what your hourly rate should be. But because we can't do overtime, and I don't know, it's complicated. Point is, I earn enough and take home enough that I can live comfortably, so I don't need that stimulus. So what I'm electing to do is I am going to expand my budget a bit and just purchase a pre-built computer. And I know that's going to be a hot take. There's going to be a lot of people who think that's stupid, because you could save all kinds of money, if you build it build it yourself. And that's normally true. But in my defense, on a couple factors, I'm willing to defend myself a couple ways here for choosing to buy a pre-built computer. One, pre-builts are only more expensive. I shouldn't say. How do I want to phrase this? Pre-builts are usually more expensive and not worth it, but that changes, or can change, based on what the current purchase market is. And with graphics cards being as scarce and sharply overpriced as they are right now, getting a pre-built, assuming that you get a pre-built of the exact, of up-to-date graphics cards, yes, I could save money if I wanted to get, whoops, I didn't mean to do that, shoot. I meant to press C. Dang it, I hate when I do that. No, that's okay, at least there's guys here that Bloodwing can help me with. Like this Psycho. Come on, baby. So yeah, pre-built can, or building it yourself can save a lot of money, assuming you're in a conventional market where graphics cards aren't being marked up, 100, 200% by scalpers because of the scarcity. Because of the scarcity that exists right now, it's not actually cheaper to get... Oh, hi, Claptrap. Yeah, we'll rescue Claptrap. Let's go ahead and just do that real quick. These are always quick and easy. So it's... Yeah, in the market that we're in right now... Ah, sheesh. Not the crab worms. It's not actually cheaper to find, like a quote-unquote aftermarket graphics card, right? Like, finding the cost associated with finding one versus, the other thing too is you can find one, but that's assuming that you're willing to be on a waiting list until next year, or you're very, very lucky and one of thousands that enter, raffles being held by only a couple companies that deal in these parts. You're just not actually all that likely to get what you're looking for. And the only other option is to try and compete with the bidding bots, that either, the bots that either, snap up everything as soon as it's in stock. I mean, we're talking, like, this is the thing. People, if it's one thing if it's a person who is tech savvy and can program their own app and their own widget on their computer for their personal use to just quickly zap up a, oh god, this thing is wretched. I forgot about the bleeders. Ugh, god, what a horrible creature. There we go. But it's one thing for people to be able to produce their own system that can help them. You know, when Best Buy gets some in stock, just really quickly grab them. But the fact is, you're hearing the stories over and over again where people will be hunting and they'll know exactly when Best Buy, you know, gets their stock in, and they'll wait there on the page and they'll see it, and by the time it takes for their computer to load up their cart after they've entered it in their cart, in that amount of time, they all disappear. They're all gone. You know, that's what we're talking about here. And, you know, if you've got the time and the energy and the wherewithal to do that, then that's great. But you're competing with all of the different bots that are used to, you know, quickly snap them up for bit miners and stuff like that. And that's only on reputable sites. It's even worse on sites like, you know, eBay, and what I suspect a lot of them are also just trying to do in general, where they snap up all of them from like Best Buy and then scalp them on eBay, setting up bidding wars that you have to pay, you know, sometimes 100% over the MSRP of these things. So with all that in mind, conventionally, yes, it is a much more budget-friendly approach to... How am I supposed to get up there? Man, I forgot how to do this one. Do I gotta go all the way over there? I just want to make sure that I'm not going over there for no reason. Really quick. Just real quick. So yeah, it's one thing in a normal market to say that... No, I gotta get up top there. Shoot. I forgot how to do that. In a normal market, it's cheaper to build your own PC. But, you know, when you're paying almost... You know, when you gotta pay almost $1,000 even to just try and get your hands on old tech, it's not actually a better deal when you look at the prices, you know, and how they factor things in for... God, I gotta look at the map. Where am I going? What am I even doing right now, man? Okay, I think I gotta go around there and go up. Shoot, man, I forgot how to do this mission hardcore. Yeah, I gotta go all the way around. Shops have new inventory. Huh, how timely for them to say that, because that's not true in real life. So when you consider those things, you know, as a general rule, it's true that buying parts and building it yourself is much cheaper. But in the current market, that's not as true as it might normally be. That's my first defense for the fact that I am just going to go ahead and purchase a pre-built computer. The other thing, and this is something that I think tends to, you know, people's perspective on things, this one tends to end up actually being a more controversial take, which is funny to me. But I think it's just because people have a hard time understanding that different people have different sensibilities. But the fact is, the other factor in all of this is desire, you know, and that's the big one that's coming in for me. Because I was trying to build my own computer, and as I sort of, you know, painstakingly laid out in terms of how that went, well, it didn't work out very well for me at all. I ended up having a bum part, you know, and fighting for hours to try and figure out if that was the case or if I was just doing something wrong, right? You spend all this time doing that, and the fact is, I spent a good 24 hours, well, 24 hours minus the time I was asleep. Not quite 24 hours, I should say. Maybe more like 18 hours minus the time I was asleep, so we're talking like 10 hours. I spent a good 10 hours fussing and fighting with a computer, getting more and more upset, more and more frustrated, feeling more and more like I might have been scammed on a part or something like that. You know, there's the headache factor, what I'm describing as I sort of think about it. It's the headache factor. The fact is, some of us would happily pay the premium on a pre-built computer just to not have to put up with that stuff, right? And that's kind of what my experience the past couple days of trying to build that stupid computer turned into. It wasn't a good experience. I didn't have fun with it. Now I know that not every PC build is going to go that poorly, but what it ended up meaning to me is, let me make sure I'm still going the right way, because this is confusing as all get out. I'm trying to figure out, okay, I think I got to go around and then loop back, like if I'm going to be able to get up there. So I think I'm heading the right way. But yeah, so it's like the upshot of it all is, as much as I enjoy building my own PCs, and as much as I would like to do that, when you think about the current sort of economy, the current markets for everything, when you factor all that stuff in, the effort included in trying to build a PC when it comes to trying to find parts in the first place, trying to do enough research that you can trust that it's a reliable, set of parts that you're getting, both in terms of baseline compatibility for whatever components you're working with, and then added on to that, trying to make sure that whoever's selling it to you isn't gonna screw you. And then going through all of the trouble that comes, if you're lucky, everything goes smoothly, but there's always some hiccups with the computer build, in my experience. Even this first one, while it was largely fun and I didn't have any major issues with it, and it's eventually turned into a wonderful computer that I've had a good 6 years, that has just been an absolute workhorse for me and still going. The fact is it's just not been my experience this time, and when I was doing that was at the time and I was still a college student. I had summers off where I was working part-time, so I had all kinds of time to kill. I could sit there for 50 hours, over the course of a week and fuss and fight with a computer to get it to work right. Nowadays, man, I work a full-time job trying to, gain a bit of notoriety and progress as a streamer here. Hi, kitty. Hi, kitty. There's Kitty Tail. You can see her. She's waving hi. Oh, you're gonna sit on my stump or on my lap while I play? That's nice. But I'm busy. I don't have the same time, to contribute to all of that. My days are full as it is, between trying to keep up with my fitness, my hobbies, right? Like I think it's an underrated part of life to make time for your hobbies, right? And so, but the fact is, around work and everything, I've only got so much time for my hobbies. So I got to pick them wisely. And as much as I would like to build a PC, I'd rather play on a PC. So what it comes down to is, yeah, there's absolutely a premium for buying a pre-built computer, right? It's gonna cost me money. I am super aware of that. That I will have to pay more to have someone else build it for me. But like I say, the thing that I think ends up being kind of controversial, but really only because people just don't take the time to consider that different people have different sensibilities in life. The fact is I'm willing to pay that money to not have to keep going through the headache that I was trying to fight through beforehand. How the frick do I get up there? I don't remember how to do this claptrap thing at all, man. How much you want to bet there's some sort of like nozzle, or I'm just supposed to shoot something and the thing is supposed to fall down and I'm just not remembering it? I just don't remember. I just don't remember how this one gets done. So yeah, so in the end, that's what I'm deciding to do. I'm bummed about it. I was pretty excited to have a new computer that I had built, and I suspect once I find a good pre-built, once that one dies out, I'll probably try to build a new one again after it. But ultimately, I'm okay with the situation, because there's another really positive thing that's come from it that I'm happy about. Because I'll be purchasing an entirely new pre-built computer, this computer can remain 100% intact even though I'm done with it. I'm not recycling any parts from it other than maybe saving, one of the hard drives, because I've got a couple hard drives in this bad boy, and so I'll probably save one of them and consider transferring it over. I've got just an old spinning disk drive that, it's not great. It's old, it's slow, but it does serve its purpose in terms of saving large amounts of files that I don't need to be rapidly accessible. Things like movies and stuff like that, where it's like I can just... Oh God, I almost fell down. I was going to be so mad at myself. Things like movies where, you can just move the one that you want to watch over real quick and do that, but then you've got your movie database and stuff like things like that. I'll probably save that so I can throw it in there and just have my bulk storage. But other than that, it's a completely intact machine. And the fact that I will still have that machine intact and ready to go is good, because what I have done is I have a buddy who has never really been into PCs, but he wants to get into them because he's frankly tired of having to pay all kinds of money for, not only getting new Xboxes and stuff like that, but then having to pay a monthly fee to play online with his friends, especially now that, a lot of us within our friend group, he and I have been long time friends. And pretty much, but the thing is as tends to happen in life, we've separated. We no longer live in the same area, nor does most of our friend group. So everything we do is online, and we've been making it work through. Let's see, does this Claptrap have extra stuff for me, or is this one of the just spins and dances ones? He's moving with purpose, but he didn't say follow me, so I don't know what to expect here. No, I don't think he's got anything for me. Okay. But yeah, so just as life goes, we just don't, the only way we can keep in touch is through video games. And I agree with him, I only ever keep any of my online services. I keep Xbox and Nintendo right now, and I only keep them so I can play online with a couple people, right? Namely him these days. Most people have made the switch over to PC, although the Switch will probably always be relevant just because Nintendo has awesome exclusives. Point is, the upshot is, what I'm going for here, I'm trying to explain is, by getting a pre-built PC, this PC that I'm on right now, which has been a wonderful machine, will be 100% intact. And the fact is, this machine still works, just not if you are interested in solid graphics. And I'm interested. I play enough video games, and now that I'm getting into streaming, I want something with the power to be able to handle a few tasks at once. I want it to be able to handle newer games in reasonable quality. I mean, I'll probably stick with my 1080p monitors. I'm not disappointed in 1080p, which will definitely give whatever the computer that I end up getting longevity, as long as I get something that can keep up with, if I benchmark it for 1440 or something like that, then 1080 is going to be no problem. Point is, this computer is a workable one, and my buddy has expressed interest in purchasing it from me once it's all done, and I'm probably not going to accept much money, if any at all, from him for it. This computer is, it's like 6 years old. Like, it's worth maybe the value of a used Xbox or something like that, because that's the quality of game that it can play. If an Xbox can play it, this computer can play it, and even then the graphics will be tied if it's a newer game, not better like you would expect from a custom-built PC. But the good side of that is, it's his introduction into PCs. I know everything about this computer, everything about it. All you got to do is you just wipe the memory, give it a fresh install of Windows, so it's all set up for him. But then if he has any hardware issues, anything like that, I can give him a tutorial into it, teach him how it all works. I can, when I first give it to him, next time I see him and I'm able to part with it, I can open it up and give him a tutorial, a walkthrough of every part, what he would want to upgrade, improve upon, things like that. It's going to be good, and it's going to be a way for me to do something that I think is something that I really value, which is being able to pay it forward. Because while I'm ready for a new computer, there's a certain degree of almost guilt that I think a lot of good people, as I'm tooting my own horn, saying I'm a good person, there's an issue that a lot of good people in the world struggle with, where it's, if I have, more than enough for myself, you almost feel guilty about that, right? I almost feel guilty about being as well off as I am, despite the fact that, on a global scale, especially in America, I'm in tremendous amounts of student debt, and I will struggle to ever purchase a house. But even with all of that stuff in consideration, I in a really good position. The fact that I can sit here and think about dropping a couple $1,000s on a pre-built, brand new gaming PC, because they don't do pre-built. It's hard to find pre-built 3-year-old PCs, that aren't just used hunks that someone hasn't treated very well. Because if someone treats it well, it's a good computer that they're still using. So I understand the price point's gonna shoot up there pretty quick. But I can afford that. I can afford that. I've been lucky in life, and so that's one of the appeals about this option is it's an option that will benefit multiple people. Myself and a dear friend of mine. So that makes me feel better about spending the money on it. And it makes it feel worthwhile. And it also helps me because the other thing that I always struggle with, and I think this is an effect of, let's see, we want to do the bait and switch here. And this is something that I think is an effect of working in environmental health. The thing is I don't like being wasteful. Sip for dramatic effect. Hey, kitty. You can see the little cat ears. I don't know if we can. Boop. And there's my little cat friend. She's looking out the window right now while sitting on my lap. Okay, there we go. So I don't like being wasteful. I know. Hi, sweetie. What are you doing? And by being able to recycle this computer and let it see some more years, because it's still a perfectly functional computer. It is not a high quality. I mean, I'm running an R9 here. Like this is an R9 380. Like this is old. This is old. It's seen better days. But I mean, I'm still sitting here and I'm playing, on lower settings, but I'm playing Game of the Year Borderlands. And when you think about it, if my buddy and I wanted to play Borderlands, as we remember it, is Xbox 360 quality, right? That's the system it was on. What you working on there, kitty? What you working on? You're throwing off my groove here. She's like, your lap is bonier than it used to be. You lost weight. Wow. But yeah, so it's like, Borderlands. If we wanted to play Borderlands online, we're used to 360 quality. And this thing, while on the lower settings for the for the enhanced edition, the fact is it's playing the enhanced edition. We can play this game just fine. So for him as an introduction to really first kind of dip his toe into PCs and have a starting point that he can kind of play with, that I can teach him about, it's great because what he's talked about is he's presently in the middle of an internship for his career that will last, if I'm remembering the timeline of when he started and how long it lasts, I think he's got about a year and a half left on it. And what he's talked about is once he's done with that and sort of is able to get a big boy job that has the proper, pay that, frankly, he deserves, knowing how much work he puts in at his internship. But I won't start that argument right now. We're having a different conversation. He wants to get into actually building and PC gaming. So what I've done is I cut a deal with him, and because the other thing too is by building my PC, whoop, there goes the kitty. I did have to upgrade my motherboard and my processor, and those were working fine. But now that I'm not going to build my own PC, the fact is I did hook them up, which means, there's the thermal paste already on it. All of the packaging's been removed and installed. It's going to be really hard for me to make a case about returning those items at this point in time. They've been opened, removed from their original packaging, and all that kind of stuff. I really don't have a leg to stand on in terms of trying to get a refund on that. So that's like, that's part of the deal that we struck. I'm like, take this computer, and if you're insisting on paying me, then also take these parts, because they're perfectly good parts. And in 2 years they won't be brand new, but in 2 years, once you're looking at trying to build your own budget build, they'll be perfectly functional. They'll be perfectly serviceable for a budget build at that time. These ones will handle. One day it will be the case that 3060s are, the old standard, where they're, that you can find them used, if not new. You can find them used for a pretty reasonable price, pretty reasonable markdown, because it's old tech. Will have had a couple years of new technology, and so he can get himself a budget build. You know, definition of budget. You know, he might find like a Radeon that's of comparable quality, you know, to a 2080 or a 3060 or something like that. In 2 years, who knows? It all depends on what the markets do, truthfully. But point is, to be perfectly serviceable for something that at that time will be a budget build, since I was using them at this time to build a pretty meaty upgrade. You know, that was my intent. So it makes me feel good too. He's got a starting point. You know, I told him just all you got to do is just keep it free of dust. You know, don't let him get dented whenever you're moving with him or something like that, and you've got him. They're perfectly good. And then, you know, if he's going to insist on paying me, then he can pay me for those things. I get some money back that I can put towards my pre-built. He gets parts at a discount and a PC out of it. It's a good deal for everyone that way. So at the end of the day, you know, that's how I have justified to myself paying the, truthfully, you know, I can admit and recognize the overpriced sticker for, I don't have to kill these guys, but I'm going to do it just for the experience points and for the splatters. I mean, come on, is that not satisfying? Just disintegrates. Well, if you get him in the head, he disintegrates. So, but yeah, so that's my story of how the past couple days of trying to build a PC have gone for me. It has not been the smooth process it was the first time I ever built a PC, and that's disappointing to me. Because truthfully, when I think about PCs and building PCs, the concept of building a PC and just putting together the parts, it's a lot of fun. There's something rhythmic and cathartic about plugging in all of the pieces and then turning it on and seeing things work. And even as long as things aren't too messed up, you know, being able to troubleshoot and get that PC running. Like, there's something very satisfying and fun about doing that. And so I am pretty disappointed that just, you know, kind of bad luck has robbed me of that opportunity to do that and to put it together and to have the pride and being able to point at my computer and be like, yeah, this thing that's fully functional, that works really well, I put it together myself, you know. So I'm bummed. I am bummed that I don't get to do that. But ultimately, you know, again, all of the reasons I've discussed, helping my friend out, the fact that it really is not a more expensive option right now, you know, it's about on par really when I do the math in terms of what I would have to do if assuming that I settled for a scalped graphics card or something like that. I'm really not losing all that much money on getting a pre-built. I mean, kind of depending on who you buy through, but even then, you know, from my initial research, people will complain about this, that, or the other company selling parts and say like this, that, or the other thing is overpriced. But from what I can tell, based on overall reviews and what different companies offer, they're all roughly the same value. I kind of experimentally built the same PC on a bunch of different websites, on a bunch of different companies' websites, right? Because you can get the custom builds. Just sort of as an experiment, I was building a PC and just comparing, and within, you know, $100 or $200, they're all within the same price range. So it's like you can penny pinch a little bit, but then, you know, you got to think about, okay, where is it being constructed and shipped from and to. You know, is shipping going to change that comparison at all? Maybe. You know, what kind of setup process do they do for you? Do they just put the pieces together and mail you that with whatever copy of Windows you purchased through them? You know, maybe. I don't know. It depends on the company. Different companies will do different things. And it tended to be, from what I could tell, it tended to be the companies that spend more personal time setting up your computer, both software as well as hardware. The companies that took the time to do all that. I'm already upgraded on all those. Were a bit more expensive, but not to the point that I thought they were being unfair and unreasonable. Same with like warranties. How long does the warranty last? Some of them, it looks like it's a better deal on the warranty, but not as good on the software support. Some of them, it's the other way around. The warranty isn't as great, but what they offer you during the warranty is, a different thing. Like some of them have a shorter warranty, but for the whole time they cover shipping when you have to ship something back in. Others will have a longer warranty, but you have to pay the shipping after 3 months or something. So what it all comes down to is, it's just a matter of finding a company that you trust will put it together well and provide you the parts, or provide you the PC that you want. And with the graphics card market being as it is, those companies are your best bet at getting a good quality PC. I mean, from the looks of it, there's a bit of delay while they wait for stock to come in, but you have to recognize that these are companies. They have deals with, NVIDIA and with AMD, so that they can get their hands on at least a set amount of, even if they can't every time a new batch comes out of the factory, even if they can't, get the exact amount that they need for all of their ordered PCs, the fact is they can strike deals so that they get a certain amount every week, month, whatever their contract is. So it's pretty predictable when you can get one. And I guarantee you it's way faster than trying to get it on your own, because the thing to remember is, again, you're competing with bots, with scalpers, and a lot of parts, dealers, they get the leftovers, right? You have a batch that comes out, and then then like a specific retailer or custom builder, will have their contract that says they get 10 of X and 15 of Y, or whatever it is, whatever their contract is. They get that, and then if it's like, yeah, this batch had this many total successfully constructed, and then there are this many left over after our contracts are fulfilled, so you guys can get 8 RTX 30 series graphics cards. Most of them are 3060s. There's 2 3070s in there, and there's one 3090 in there, right? And then so suddenly those pop up at Newegg or whatever company is reselling them, and it's like everyone is clawing and biting each other to try and let it be their turn to get it. And it just by the time all of that is said and done, it's much more expensive. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. I meant to do that. It's much more expensive than what we would conventionally think of when we're trying to build our own PC. We would conventionally think of what the MSRP would be, and you can kind of in your head ballpark what that is for a lot of graphics cards, because it just kind of goes with the rest of the market. Super fancy ones, you're looking closer to $1,000. Mid-range, maybe 500. Older, lower quality, 200-300. Right? Predictable market for the most part. Nowadays, you're finding old, low-end ones going for like $900 on, you can find the 1060 on, on eBay being sold for like $700-800. A 1060, like that is so old. That should not be going for that much, but that's what they're going for nowadays. So it's just, benefit of the doubt, defending myself, but really anyone, because the fact is the other thing I noticed looking at all these websites have a degree of back order right now, a degree of backlog on custom built PCs, because that's what a lot of people are, turning to, because it really is the most viable option to get a reasonably upgraded computer. I don't, I could sit there and hunt down and try to find a reputable seller, someone who's honest and, being forthright about these things. Actually this is going to be quicker. Let me just fast travel. By the time I've done that, I might find a reasonable deal on a, a 1060 or whatever. But is that really is that really going to be worth my time? Especially if I still have to pay over the top? Is that going to be worth my money? If I am going to build a computer or upgrade this computer, and the upgrade still, runs me close to $1,000, but I'm going to have to replace the computer in 2 years, is it actually a better deal to have spent that $1,000 to upgrade, something that I'll have to replace in 2 years, when I could, if I'm willing to be a little patient and pay a little over, I could pay $2,000 for a computer that's going to last me 4 or 5 years to my standards. Which one's better? I'll take the one that lasts longer, because then, then the next time, the longer we wait, the more likely it is that the market will have adapted to this current situation we're seeing, where everything is super expensive and super in demand. I'm supposed to be reading those, but I'm not going to do it because I'm having a more interesting conversation with myself here. Is it actually worth that money? If we're talking about a normal market, say, where, I don't know why I'm doing that. I want to turn in Earl's best friend. I'm not sure why I'm running away from the fast travel thing here. But yeah, like in a normal market where I could find an upgrade for $1,000, upgrade my PC on my own, so that it will last me a good 4 or 5 years, then excellent, right? That's great. That is supreme savings over the $1,500 to $2,000 that it would cost to get a pre-built of the same caliber, right? But that's not where we're at right now. That's not where the market is right now. So right now, and I'm saying this because I'm not the only one buying a pre-built. You can tell because of the backlog. The backlog is, whoops, I didn't mean to do Treacher's Landing. Crap. Treachers? Treachers. Fuck, I don't know. There's our fast travel. That was silly of me. So just to give the benefit of the doubt, the defense to those of us who are buying pre-built PCs, I think it makes a lot of sense right now. Especially if you're in the situation, like, no, it doesn't make sense if you're, if 2 years ago you got yourself a 2070 and you're like someone who just like really makes a hobby of this and has the money and likes to upgrade every time there's a new graphics card that comes out, and all you need is the graphics card and the rest of your computer will handle it just fine. But you want to do that so you can crank out a few extra frames per second. Like, I'm not even going to make fun of that. If that's what you're into, then by all means you should be able to do that. But if that's what your situation is, then yeah, of course you're going to wait. Of course you're just going to settle for your 2070 and be happy with it. Why wouldn't you? I mean, my goodness. For the cost, it makes no sense whatsoever. So of course you're going to do that. But if you're in a situation kind of like me, where it's like you've been rocking the same PC for 5-6 years, and even then, when you built this computer, it was a budget build based, utilizing graphics cards and just generalized PC components that were, maybe a year or two old when you got them, or the lowest of the low of the brand new stuff, so that way you could afford it and kind of just dip your toe in the water. I'm sitting here 6 years later thinking like, boy, I'm really putting this computer through the ringer, and it doesn't owe me anything, so I can't even be mad if it craps out on me, within the next year. And when that's the situation, it's like, I would rather spend a little extra to get a new computer, a good computer again, than end up without a computer. Because not only do I use this computer for gaming, I use this computer for a lot of different things. A lot of things that I don't want to not be able to do for an extended period of time, right? So, hey, how's it going, Dr. Smile? Haven't seen you in a while since I had to change up my my streaming pattern here. So glad to see you here, man. I'm having a nice long rant with myself about justifications of I'm going to end up purchasing a pre-built PC, because over the past 2 days I have had quite the debacle. I had finally gotten my hands on an older, a used graphics card that was much better than my current one, but it was an older bit of technology. It has been quite the couple days trying to get that to work and ultimately failing. So I have returned the graphics card for a refund. I was lucky in that the seller, I did at least do my research on who the seller was pretty well, and they were reputable, and they're working with me to get me a refund. And so I'm taking that money and turning around and expanding my budget and just getting a brand new pre-built PC, because fuck it. I need a new computer. This one's struggling on so many levels. It's such a trooper, this computer. It owes me nothing, but boy, it's like 6 years old. So yeah, I've just been having a rant justifying the exorbitant amount that I will be paying for a pre-built PC. Boom! Oh, God, I love that splatter. I love that splatter. Not the least of which arguments to justify is I really do need a new PC. I'm sitting here, granted, it's the enhanced edition, but I'm playing the first Borderlands, and I have to be on low quality on this poor machine because it is so old and so out of date that even at 1080p I gotta be on low settings for this thing to have anything that doesn't look like, you know, some weird ass stop motion flashing image show here because of low frame rate. So oh man, I'm sorry to hear that, Dr. Smile. That's rough going, buddy. That's always a rough situation. You know, I don't know anything about your relationship or anything like that, or how it was, but it's, no matter what the state of it was, going from being in a relationship to being single is a tough adjustment, to say the least, especially if you've been together for a while. So yeah, I feel ya. But you got nothing to apologize to me, dude. I'm just doing this because it's fun. I don't even, like, I'm not trying to make a living off of this. I don't need viewership and ad buys or anything like that. I'm just fucking around here. So I'm glad to see you here, and I'm glad to see that you're working on bouncing back. That's good. That's a good attitude to have about it, to try and just be getting back to it, even if it takes a little bit of time. So come on. Oh God. Oh, okay. I thought my I didn't realize that was leftover. Gotcha. I hear you. Well, I mean, at least there's that. You know, if it was a mutual thing, that's good. That helps. But no, it'll still leave you raw. I've been in that situation too in my life, where it's like, you know, you and the other person can agree that, like, it's just not working, and there's no shame in that. There's never any shame in recognizing that, especially if you guys are doing it together. But no, it'll still leave you raw. I feel you. So yeah, don't apologize for that, and don't be sad about, you know, or upset with yourself about taking the time that you need to deal with that situation. It's, and you know, it's life. It's life. That's how it goes. It's how it goes. Oh shoot, hold on. I gotta pause real quick. Let me see something here. Got a work email. Let me see what it is. I foresee an email and a phone call in my future for my for my day job, but we'll worry about that later if I have to. You got about a half hour left. I was planning on streaming. We'll get through that, and then I'll email them. It's nothing urgent. Thank Christ. It's all because people don't read stuff close enough when I write a report. It's all right in there. You just have to pay close attention. With the issue here, I gotta dance around a few details so I'm not, like, giving away any identifying information. So not only is that, oh my gosh, yep, see, here it's starting. Here it's starting. I told you. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Yeah. So without giving away, no, I feel you. I feel it, Dr. Smile. That's fair, and I think it's good for you guys to recognize that and move on. But that's, you know, it's a tough call to make always, but it's good that you went through, that you made it through it, and it'll be good moving forward. It'll be the better decision. But yeah, this work thing, like, you know, it's hopefully interesting to some people. You know, maybe more interesting to an American audience, but I think it is something that can still be interesting to people who just want to understand, generally speaking, how litigation for environmental matters goes. And so the issue here is a facility has multiple boilers, and everyone is trying to understand what boilers are subject to what litigation, because I shouldn't say litigation, I should say requirements, like reporting expectations maybe. But the facility, the thing that everyone I can already tell is getting super confused about, facility has like 5 boilers on site. Some of them are subject to some information, others are not. And in my report, I addressed that. I said, this boiler and that boiler are subject to this because of this. This boiler and that boiler are not subject because of this. And so now what's happening is there's an email chain of people going back and forth, showing different documentation that shows this, that, or the other thing about what is, what is permitted and what's not permitted, and what meets certain standards and what's expected to meet certain standards and all that kind of stuff. And it's confirming exactly what I've said. And what I suspect is happening, though, is people aren't paying close enough attention to which boiler I'm talking about when I say this one is or this one is not for different things. Because they're like sending me an initial startup notification for this boiler, which is one thing that's required to be done, has been required to be done for any boiler installed after the year 1989. So they send me a startup notification for a boiler installed in 2017. And this is in reference to what I said in my report, where I said one boiler is not subject to this. Well, the one in 2017, of course, that one is subject to it, because that was installed after 2019. And as far as I remember in my report, I said exactly that. The boiler that is not subject is one that was installed in 1984. Which is, of course, before 1989, which means it is not subject to the stuff. Yeah, for sure, man. I'm glad you stopped by. Glad you stopped by, Dr. Smile. I'll check you. I'll check out your stream. I'll check out and pay attention for when you're streaming. Try and stop by at some point. Next chance I get. Although I don't know if it'll be tonight, because after this, I've got a little more time I got to work, and then after that, I'm getting back to martial arts, which is awesome. Oh my goodness gracious. I am struggling. Bloodwing, go attack these guys. What are you doing, you worthless bird? Later, man. You worthless bird. There we go. Why are you useless? What do I have you for, Bloodwing? Alright, that's it. That's it. We're going in. We're going in. Get in the health. You get out of here. Oh my god, this is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But yep, I can feel it. I know that there's going to be me having to explain myself in the future. I'll probably have to rewrite my report to clarify it, because people can't read close enough. Which is really aggravating to me too. Like, it always aggravates me. And this is one little gripe I've got about with our system and how it works. But the reason that it's in my report for people to see that is because my boss reviewed that report and said everything looked good. And now it's going to not be good, even though if someone had an issue with it, they had plenty of times during the draft process to say this doesn't look good. I know I'm being cranky about it, but it's like I spent like 10 hours working on that stupid report, and I really don't want to have to edit it. Hi, kitty. How you doing, honey? I know. Come on over. Go ahead and sit on my lap. That's very nice. You're a sweet little girl. I just want to try and peg the guy who's using the turret. Fine, we'll just do it this way. Come on. There it is. Oop. Just go a little hidey hole here. Ah, boy. Go, that's a headshot. No, come on. Gosh dang it. Gosh darn it. had a friend, whenever I would hang out at his house, this was like in middle school, his sister was in high school at the time. If she was around and heard us talking, she would censor us. It's really funny. She, like my friend would be sitting there playing a game, he'd be like, God dang it. God dang it. Like, that's what he would say. And his sister would be like, gosh darn. Like, correcting him to say gosh darn instead of god dang. Which is really funny. And I don't like knowing her. She's not even like exceptionally straight edge. I don't know why she drew the line at god dang. But there it was. I just remember that. I don't know why I remember that. It's funny the things you remember as you get older. I say older as if I'm like 50. Not even 30 yet. I'm close, but I'm not actually there yet. Gotta try to not shove myself in the grave quite yet. Who's still shooting at me? Gosh. Gosh dang. Gosh darn, excuse me. Come on, let's sturdy it up here. There it is. That's what I was looking for. Make that jump. Of course we can make that jump. Alright, claptrap. Come on down, baby. Oh, I'm supposed to talk to him. Okay. Thank you, stranger. I would sing a song about your heroism, but I'm pretty sure the Crimson Lance would hear me and kill us both. They really hate music. So I'll just see you later at the gate to the Salt Flats. Bye now. Bye, Claptrap. Okay. What's we got in here? Nothing. We got garbage. Boo. Alrighty. Oh, excuse me. Body's telling me it's siesta time, which is bad news because I don't have time for a siesta today. Okay, hold on. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember not being able to figure out how I was supposed to get to wherever this claptrap is in here. Like, you can hear him. He's in here. There he is. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that now. Yeah, I remember wondering if it was glitched or something. Let's see, how much better is that accuracy? That fire rate's almost nothing. The accuracy is pretty good, but I don't know. I think I'm gonna keep the one that I got on. Extra damage is nice. See? It's perfect. It's great. Alrighty. Pick that up. As long as it isn't white, I'll pick it up for the most part. Oh, excuse me. Boy, oh boy. Gotta stay awake. I only got like 20 more minutes. I gotta stay awake for this stream. I was doing pretty good. Uh-oh. My connection's been lost. What are you talking about? I don't know what it's talking about. My connection to the network has been lost. We're just gonna not worry about that one. Because I'm playing a single player game. I don't think it's been lost because it looks like the stream is still up, so. Or at least my internet connection hasn't been lost. Oh my golly. I gotta back up and get out of here. I am in over my head right now. Go. No. Got him. Stop giving me the intense music. Uh-oh. See, I blame the music for that. There was no one there, and the music didn't go away, and then there's someone here. The music went away, that would be that there were no bad guys, so that guy wouldn't have been able to show up. Just saying. I don't care if you think I've confused cause and effect. How the fudge do I get up there? What the F? Come on. Oh, come on, just bite the dust, would you? Oh, for poop's sake. There we go. Why are there always more? There we go. This guy's really bad at using his shield, man. Tell you what. Boy, let me tell you what. There we go. Get a repair kit. I don't even know who's shooting right now. I have no idea who's shooting at me. Looks like on the map they're like way over here, maybe. Ah. Ow. Listen here, you dicks. Right, seems to have taken care of the issue. Solving the problem. Just solving the problem. Oh, boy. Man, I ran out of steam on conversation. I was doing such a good monologue. And then I ran out of log to mono. Maybe as I ran out of mono to log. I'm not going to pick a fight if I don't have to. Alright. Funny how just when you think life can't possibly get any worse, it suddenly does. I think you ought to know I'm feeling very depressed. A guy finally gets a break from all the shooting and raping. Oh yes, these are desperate men. Just when he's having a rest, you come along and repair him. I suppose you want a reward for exposing me to more of this torturous existence. I mean, it would be nice. Okay, does this Claptrap have extra stuff for me, or... I'm going to do our celebratory spin cycle. I'm going to come out here and hide. Okay, well, wonderful. Helpful Claptrap. I know, little kitty. My nose keeps itching. Nose keeps itching, and I feel like I'm in that Seinfeld episode where I'm like dancing the line between an itch and a pick. I think it's probably a stray nose hair. I gotta be gross and pluck a couple or something, probably. Okay, wait, where is this thing is expecting me to go for this mission? The Salt Flats, okay. I have a fast travel to the Salt Flats. Oy. Okay, well, we'll just take the long way then, because I don't know which one is going to take me closest to the Salt Flats. I don't have the interchangeable part, not interchangeable, the interaction map of the different parts of the map memorized. I don't know what leads where and all that crap. Where's a frickin'... And I have a vehicle station right here? That's dumb. So dumb. I mean real dumb. For real. Oh, I don't have to go far though. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Punched her dog. That's tragic. Alrighty. I know, hi kitty. Oh my god, okay, last one. That was the last one. That was gonna be the last yawn, man. Last yawn, and we're gonna move on from it, and it's not gonna be an issue. And why are there no shields here? feel like I never get shields in this one. I feel like every Borderlands game has something that's not balanced all that well, and in this one I think it's shields. What is that crap? Why do I even have that crap? I must pick that up on accident. Yeah, let's get rid of that one. Ooh, we have a couple of revolvers. Ooh. Pen looks good. Oh, damn, look at that damage. Holy crap. Yeah, we're definitely going to keep patting. Are you kidding me? Hell yeah. Shotgun zone's out. It's got good. Oh, wait. No, hold on. I'm meant to be comparing here. Yeah, no, okay, now it's not actually all that great. Now, with a shotgun, you definitely want to go for the damage. No real point in... Whoa. That's not what I wanted to have happen. Go back. Alright, there we go. Yeah, with a shotgun, you're not using a shotgun because you want to try and sharpshoot someone. That's the case. I was a liar. I yawned again. My apologies. The nailer. I think I know exactly what that's going to mean. Hold on. Let's equip that. I just want. I guess it's not what I thought I remembered it meaning. I thought that meant that it like shot nails out, but it doesn't seem to be doing that. Oops. Tab. Right, but it's still a cool shot, or a cool sniper, so I'm gonna... Ooh. No, you know what? I'm gonna keep this one that I just equipped. And we're just gonna see what happens, because ultimately I'm super over leveled and it's really not gonna make a difference. It just won't make a difference, I can guarantee it. Stop comparing. Go up here, so that way we can loop around and look at all these. Oh, upgrade that, please. Thank you. Please and thank you. There we go. Okay, now these are all ready to sell. Take my shit from me. There we go. I mean that as literally as I can possibly mean it. Alright, okay, we did cherry red, so now it's time for... I am assuming that's orange, although... I don't know, it doesn't look too different from the red to me. That's probably because I can't... excuse me, see the red super well. Because of my broken eyes. My stupid, poopy, broken eyes. Are all like, we don't need color. Meanwhile, me as an entity is sitting here like, but it would be nice. Splatter. Bloop. I like that you don't really even have to like do much. You just kind of bump into them and they splatter. That's my favorite. Oh no. How does this happen? How did that happen? Alright, fine, I'll get out. Why am I insisting on using that in a close range setting? This stupid gun to use in close range like that. I can be better. Whew. Come on, get him. There we go. There we go. Okay, let's see here. Golly, that's a shame. I wonder if entering it again will... let me wedge it out. Apparently not. Oh, oh! Nope, come on, come on, come on. Get out of there, get out of there! Yeah. Yeah. Persistence. That's all it takes sometimes, just a little persistence. You just gotta be willing to keep going. Okay. Okay. Whatever you say, bro. Four bandit patrols need to be destroyed. Okay. Wee. Yep. Woo! I don't know that I've ever had someone mount my vehicle while I'm driving it in Borderlands. I feel like that situation doesn't occur very often because usually it's just a guy on foot chasing me and I can just splatter him. It's not a big deal, but apparently that's not how it goes this time. Oh, I like this. Wait, did one of them disappear? Oh boy, I'm confused. Yep. Uh oh, there we go. Where's this guy at? Let's kill him. Alright, there's one more around here somewhere. At least I'm hoping there is. Oh yeah, no, there we are. Because I thought I had seen two before, but then one of them seemed to just like zap out of place. I was like, oh no. That's a good question, buddy. I think I will. How do I do that? Listen here, you dingus. Alright, I don't remember how to get in here. I know there's gonna be a door somewhere. There's always a door somewhere. But I don't remember. Ah, hell, I don't know. There we go. Found it. Easy peasy. I don't know if I'm going to have enough time to finish this. I hope they've got a good like pause point around in here somewhere. I doubt they do, but a place to save or something. Ah. Boop. Ugh. Oh, come on. Oh my god. There's going to be a good save point here. I think I might just be SOL. Alright, well, you know what? I think because of that, rather than investing too much time in this area, because I do have to go. I was planning on staying on for a few more minutes, but there's no way I'll finish this in the next, like, 3 or 4 minutes. So, we're just going to save and quit. See where it plops me. If we have to redo it, we have to redo it. Worse things have happened. So, but yeah, I think I'm going to call it a stream there. Only about an hour and a half this time, but it's pretty good. On the old computer, still rocking the old computer for the foreseeable future. I do intend to get a new computer, as I talked about at length this time. But yeah, no, I'm the thing that I can be really happy about is the fact that I've got a solid computer that still works, and that's more than what a lot of people can say. So I'm pretty fortunate, all things considered. The fact that my build can fail and it doesn't have to impact what I do in my free time is a good situation to be in. So I'm not too bothered by it. Everything turned out okay. Everything's gonna be great. I think it'll be good. I think it'll be good. But for the sake of streaming, that's it for today. Tomorrow is Friday, so we will do a writing stream. I know we missed Wednesdays because I was busy failing to build a new computer. But yeah, so on Friday, tomorrow, we'll do some writing, probably mid-afternoon like I've been doing. And then Saturday is scheduled gaming night to play some Borderlands. We'll see. Saturday I do have my D&D game with a group. But there's a chance that the group will be watching UFC fights together at the end of it, and I am so utterly deprived of socialization that if that is happening and there's more of a chance to hang out with friends, you better believe I will absolutely bail on my stream for the sake of hanging out with my buds. Better 100% believe that I'll do that. So we'll see. To be determined. But Friday definitely we'll do a stream at some point in time. Tomorrow we'll do some writing. And it'll be a good time. And it'll be nice to get back to that because after missing yesterday's, I miss it. It's not quite the same when I don't get to do that. So, but yeah. So anyone who stopped by during the stream, thank you for stopping by. I always appreciate it. Anyone watching the VOD uploaded to Twitch or YouTube, thank you for showing an interest in watching. Glad you stopped by, and yeah, everyone go out there, spread some good in the world, be good to each other, and we'll see you tomorrow.